Hey guys, it's Rachel from The Little Ring Lamb, and obviously you know from the title of this, I have a book review on The Moon and More by Sarah Dessen. And this I just hauled in my last haul, and it's a 2013 new release and has 435 pages. It's quite a big Sarah Dessen book. So basically, if you've never seen my reviews, this is spoiler free. I wouldn't recommend a book if I was going to spoil it. And I rate my books in 5 different categories: plot, characters, cover, suspense, and overall in terms of reading again very soon, 5 out of 5, not so soon, 1 out of 5. And before we get started, I'm going to give you a brief synopsis on what occurred in The Moon and More. I'm not going to spoil it, I'm just going to kind of look at the front flap. So basically, the main character is Emmeline, and I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it, and she is seen as having the perfect life. She has Luke, her boyfriend, her life's all together. She feels safe in her town. She's going off to university in the fall. And then Theo, who's a super ambitious outsider, they're from New York, and he's there with a film crew, and they're doing a documentary about an artist. And her, and he and her father think that she deserves like a bigger life and she should have more potential, and also her mother, stepfather, and sisters think this too. And basically it says Emmeline wants the moon and more, but how can she balance where she comes from and where she's going? So yeah, sorry that was a very broken synopsis, but basically it's like your typical Sarah Dessen book. It's in the summer and it's a nice fun read. So before I get into this, I have, with this book, like sometimes I don't listen to music while I read, but I listen to music like sometimes in between chapters and stuff, just to kind of digress the information stuff. I don't know if I use that word right. Anyway, I've been really listening to the song Lullaby by Paradise Fears, and Paradise Fears' whole album, and I'm going to put a link below, because if you're reading this book, I definitely suggest to check that song out, or the album out, because it's really, like, I just bought it last week, and I've been really listening to it with this book. It doesn't fit perfectly, but it's kind of like a nice summery album, so yeah, so if you guys want to check that out, because I found it really cool, and I thought I'd just recommend that for you guys if you're reading this or want to check it out. I'll put the links though down in the description bar. Plot, I gave a 5 out of 5. I absolutely love the plot. This, I have to say, I've read 6 of Sarah Dessen's books, 7 including this, and I have to say this is my favorite book I've read from her so far. And I find because the plot is unique and it's refreshing to read. I absolutely love everything that occurs because I find it makes sense. It's more rational and stuff. And I really like the setting. Like Colby in Along for the Ride, it wasn't my favorite Sarah Dessen book. I might have been rushing it. That's why I'm trying to get it in before the summer ended. But it wasn't my absolutely favorite one. I know it's a lot of people's favorite ones. I'm sorry if I'm offending it for you guys. But I found Colby not to be a really rich setting in that book as much as I found it in this book. But maybe that's because I've read that book first. But I really, really liked everything that happened. And I think everything was justifiable. Characters, I give a 4.5 out of 5. The only character I didn't really like was Theo, and he is one of the main male protagonists, and I did not like him. He just seemed like a snake to me. He seemed very not, sorry if you hear background noise, there's people back there. He's not very, I didn't find him very sincere. I found him very snake-like in the sense that he was kind of slippery, like sometimes you didn't know to trust him or not. But all the rest of the characters I really enjoyed. I was a little unsure about her best friend Daisy at first, but I really grew to like her, and her friend Morris. They just had developed later on in the book. At first you kind of don't really know that much about them. I liked all the supporting characters too. They were all interweaved in a unique way, and they all made sense within the book, and you got to see, I think, like an equal amount of all the background characters as well. Cover, I give a 5 out of 5. This is my favorite Sarah Dessen cover, I think, out of the ones I have, because I have all the old ones, and the old ones aren't my favorites. Like, I'd love for them to still have the old ones out, because so they all match, but I love the new ones because they seem more girly and fun. And I love how her letters in all the books have this like really cool deckled thing with the colors. I just really enjoy this cover. It's really nice, and I love the color that they did for the blue color. It's just really beautiful. And I love her new covers, actually. Like, a lot of people are complaining about them. Like, I think only the one I don't like is this Lullaby. Maybe that's it. The one with the guitar on it's not my favorite, but everyone besides that is pretty. And I really love this cover. Yeah. Suspense, I give it a 4 out of 5. I really like the suspense in this. I read it in 3 days, and it was super good. It kept you hooked. Like, I needed to go get a snack. I was hungry, and I didn't even want to get up because I was like, oh, I want to keep reading this. But yeah, it was so good. The suspense was pretty high. Some points, obviously, it's going to be lower, like I said in my book review. Firecracker by David Isaacson, there's always like lows and highs in books, and you can't always have like a continuous fast-paced ride. At certain points, it dies down for certain individuals. Overall, I give it a 4 out of 5. I would definitely read this next summer. I definitely read this maybe even in the winter to feel that summer mood again. But I really, really enjoyed this book. And I didn't think I was going to enjoy it as much as I really did. But I can honestly say I like love this book. I'm not like, I don't know if you guys have heard me talk about Sarah Dessen's books, but I'm not the biggest fan. Like, I'm not like, oh my gosh, like I love her books to death. But I really do enjoy her books every once in a while for a read. But I have to say I'm very interested in picking up her next release just because reading this. And I watched the interview that she did about this book, and she said she thinks she's grown as a writer and her novels have become better as time goes on. And I can really say that I can see a growth between her other works and this work, because honestly, I loved like this book compared to all her other ones significantly more. Also, at this end of the video, there's going to be a discussion, so I'm going to say, if you haven't read the book, I'm going to say bye to you right now and come back later. So bye, guys. And for everybody who's read the book, keep tuned because you're going to have a discussion, and this will contain spoilers. So if you've not read the book, I suggest turn this off and come back. So, I don't know about you guys, but I was really happy at the ending of this book, how she didn't really end up with somebody. Even though I do love like the mushy-gushy romance of the teen YA, I really enjoy that sometimes, and especially like a Sarah Dessen book where the girl always seems to end up with her boy or something, and they walk into the sunset and it's all happy. I really enjoyed this, how the only boy left at the end was Benji. I just loved that part of the book, and I really liked how it ended. Theo, yuck. I did not like his attitude. At first I was like, when he was charming her, I was like, oh, that's nice, but he got a little over the top, and I was like, okay. And I was happy he didn't get the job. I was so happy Morris and Daisy also stayed together. I really liked it. And yeah, I was really upset in the middle of the book when she broke up with Luke. I was like, no, Theo. And Ivy, she made a surprising turnaround too in my books. She became a lot nicer. I didn't know, it could have been maybe like just having Theo around the house, because he kind of seemed like a know-it-all to me. Especially with Clive's paintings when it was just like seagrass or beach grass. Those are my opinions on the book. I really like the main character though. She was really awesome, and I think she's really rational, which I really enjoyed, because sometimes I don't like a dreamer. Even though I like to dream and imagine stuff, sometimes I can't be very rational, but I really like a rational character and not always having her heads up in the clouds. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I appreciate you guys tuning in. Okay, bye.